Hi kids. This video is about making monthly data tables and graphs. First, I want to direct your attention to something on the main page in Schoology, and it is the quality data tables and graphs. What this is, it's a rubric that you can use to check all of your data tables and graphs for excellence. This is what quality data tables have. They have rows and columns with headings. They include units, and they have a detailed title stating what the data pertains to, where the data is collected, and when the data was collected. Graphs, and in this case, there'll be XY graphs or even XYY graphs, also have detailed titles stating what, where, and when the data pertains. And these graphs will also have graph axes that are labeled, contain units, and have a scaling statement. Also, if there's more than one line, a key should be provided that identifies different lines. So let's go to our daily data now. Here is our daily data. And what you'll see is there's a label down here that says sun and moon data. And this is where we're collecting data all year. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. For this particular assignment, we're only working with September. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of everything that isn't September. And this is my main data page. I don't ever want to do anything to this main page except add to it every day I have science. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new sheet, and I'm going to copy all of this data down into a new sheet that I can play with. This is how I'm going to do it. I am going to add a sheet by going to this plus sign in the lower left-hand corner. And it makes a new sheet. And mine says sheet 7, although yours may say sheet 1 or sheet 2. And I'm going to rename this sheet the sandbox, because that's what we'll play in. We can play in the sandbox. We can build hills and dig holes and rake it clean, and we'll never mess with our original data. So there's two ways to rename it. I can click on this caret and go up to rename, or I can just double click on it and call it a sandbox. Now I'm going to go back to my original data. And a very easy way to choose all of your data is to go up here into the upper left-hand corner, this gray box here that's just to the left of the A and just above the 1. And when I click that, all of the data gets selected. So once I select all the data, I'm going to go to copy, and I'm going to copy that data. Now I'm going to go to my sandbox, and I am going to paste my data. There, I've got an identical duplicate copy of my original. So I can play in my sandbox without ever messing with my original data. And that is really sweet. So Let's do one of the graphs together. The first thing I want to do is get rid of all of my other data that is not September. So what I'm going to do, here's 831. I'm going to click on 16 and drag up this column all the way to there, and it blocks out all of my August data. And I am going to go to Edit and delete rows 2 through 16. Now September 1st is at the top. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get rid of all my October data now. The same way. Edit, delete rows 32 through 62. Now, all I have is September data. Wonderful. Now, because we're making the moon percentage graph first, I need to put my date column right next to my moon percentage column. It's easy to do. I am going to click on the A above the date and select the whole row or column that way. And you'll see I have an open glove. If I click, it closes the glove, it grabs the A column, and I can slide it right next to my moon percentage column. Next, if I also click over moon percentage and drag over E, now I've got both columns chosen, and that's what the chart editor needs to make a new chart. And it's going to put the date on the x-axis and the moon percentage on the y-axis. Now there's two ways to make a chart. My favorite way is to go to this chart icon where it says insert a chart. And there it is. There's my moon percentage chart. Now I'm going to go back to my rubric and I'm going to make sure that that chart has all the qualities of a great chart. First of all, the graph has to have a detailed title stating what, where, and when. I need to have graph axes that are labeled, contain units, and have a scaling statement. And as I look at this graph, I can tell that it needs a couple of things. So let's make this graph better. Let's start with the titles. I don't see anything here that says title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Customize. And now I see Chart Style, Chart and Axis Titles. Ooh, Chart and Axis Titles. That's what I want to do. I want to improve upon the titles and my axes. And I can see here that it says chart title and it says moon percentage versus date. Yep. I can click this caret and I can see some other things. Horizontal axis title. That says date, and so does this. And I also see my vertical axis title. It says moon percentage, and so does that. All right, well, let's start with the chart title. I need a detailed title stating what, where, and when. And moon percentage versus date is a great start, but I need to know for when and where. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say for Piedmont, California, and then I'm going to say September 2020. And look how it changes my graph title. Now I've got a what, where, when chart title. And that's a beautiful thing. Now I will improve upon my x-axis or horizontal axis title. For horizontal axes, for any graph axes, I need axes that are labeled with units and have a scaling statement. So date is not good enough. I'm going to put September. And my units for September are in days. So I'll put my units in parentheses. And now I need a scaling statement. In other words, how many days are there per line? And for this, it's one line equals 7 days. There. Now I've got a quality graph axis. It's labeled with units and has a scaling statement. Let's go to the moon percentage. That would be on the vertical axis. It says moon percentage. I'm going to change that to moon illumination. And my units are in percent. And my scaling statement is one line equals 25%. There. Now I have my graph axes labeled with units and have a scaling statement. I've got a detailed title stating what, where, and when. Now I'm gonna just make it a little better looking. I'm gonna go to chart style. And I am going to click plot null values. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna fill in data for where we don't have any data. So I'm just going to plot null values and look, it turns into a line. And I'm going to make that a smooth line. Ooh, baby. And what I see here now is data of the moon percentage. So we started September and it looks like we had almost a full moon, and this must be when there was a waning gibbous. And here's the first or the third quarter moon, and here's the waning crescent, and this must be the new moon down here, 0%. And then we started the waxing crescent all the way to 50%. There's the first quarter moon, and then the waxing gibbous. And it looks like we almost get to a 100% illuminated moon by the end of the month. What I can do also is I can go to my horizontal axis and I can go treat labels as text and watch what happens when I do that. It puts every day in there. Wow, every day. So now I can say, the new moon occurred maybe on the 16th or 17th. And my third quarter moon must have been on the 10th. And my first quarter moon must have been the 22nd or 23rd. maybe the 23rd. And you can also do some fun things with the slant labels. Right now it's auto, but you can make them 30%, or you could make them 60%, or you could make them 90%. Of course, your scaling statement would change because now there is no line. So it would be one line or one date equals one day. But I just wanted to show you that. It's kind of fun. There we've made our first graph. Now what I can do is I can click on this graph and I can go here to the triple decker ice cream cone and I can put move to own sheet and watch what happens. It makes a new sheet and it enlarges the graph. I can see it more clearly. And I can rename this September, rename September Moon Illumination graph. There. I'm done with my first graph.